Are y'all like, what the hell is she doing on here right now? It's like, why is Yolanda live right now? Well, I had this bright idea. I had this idea that I think I want to try to start going live twice a week. So this is a test run. So here I am. Can you believe that? It's midnight here, y'all. But before we go into all that, let's get the party started by first letting me introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, if you would like to know me better, let's start with this. My name is Yolanda, and I am locating cozy, and this is a broad chat. Yes, and so I am here today because I like to share what's going on in my world. I like to talk about all the great things and all the great challenges that I've experienced since I actually decided to quit that crazy job, stop paying rent, and move to another country. That's just about the gist of it. Okay. So, anyways, I do have a guest tonight, and I'm really excited. But before I bring on my guest, let me go ahead and say this. Please do make sure that you do like and subscribe, and you hit that notification bell, and so then you'll know whenever I'm going live or when I am uploading something, or whenever I upload something, or if I just have to say boo. Okay. Yes. Make sure that you do like and subscribe. Okay. Thank you very much, please, and thank you. And now, because I want to know what's going on in her world, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Miss Apryl Thatch of Positively Pryl. Hello,
Hey.
how you
I'm
doing?
doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm super excited about this. I stayed up. I literally stayed up.
I
I have not
appreciate
napped, and I'm actually kind of like geeked right now. I'm like, oh my gosh,
it.
you did this and stuff. It, by the way, just in case y'all don't know stuff, it's like midnight here right now in Spain. Because if you don't know, I'm in Spain. Okay, so this is where I live, and my bright idea, because I care about you, was
Mhm.
that I thought it would be best for me to start doing the lives, well, twice a week. And the second one needs to be on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Why? My thinking was your new week is getting started, and I think I would like to be part of the inspiration that kind of sets you up for success for that upcoming week. That's my thinking. So, in order
Mhm.
to do that, I have to stay up until midnight here in Spain because we're 7 hours ahead. I'm 7 hours ahead. April's not. April's in
No.
Mexico. We're gonna get
Hello.
there. Yes. Okay. But so, and I was like, April, you want to come on with me so we can chit chat and talk about things while I'm up here at midnight? And she
Yes.
said yes. And I'm so honored. And the reason why is because April is my girl that helped
Mhm.
me get through some professional challenges when a great opportunity came right before I moved to Spain. And she told me, because I was about to do a presentation that was, I don't know, 15
No.
slides. And she was like, no, 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 just take those
I'm like, no.
slides and like take it down to like 7 or 8. That's all you need. And
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I
Mhm.
got to give her kudos. And yes, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
So before we get started, April, well, first of all, April, where are you at now?
San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. Mhm.
And how long have you been there now?
July 1st. I moved here for good July 1st. They handed me the keys to my house on July 2nd. So yeah, it's been yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna get into that. I'm so happy. I remember when you were getting ready to go and you were like, so I'm leaving. Okay.
I know. Well,
And
you
I'm
know,
leaving and stuff. So
I've been
yes.
preparing for a minute. I didn't know where I was going, but I've been preparing to go. So I thought,
Oh, yeah. It happened in due times when it was supposed to, and
mhm.
then you were like, and I'm out and I'm done.
Yeah, yeah, time to go.
Cool. So, hello, Balance. It just says Balance Greetings. Please do say hello when you come in here. I really do appreciate it. Yes, make sure you hit the like button. We want to know that you're here and that you're enjoying it. And if you're checking it out later on in the replay, please do put the comment saying that you watched it later on. And I hope that you have will be greatly entertained and gain some great insight also. Okay. But first, let's do some questions just between me and you.
Okay.
Between me. Okay.
Okay.
What's going on in your world?
Oh, what is going on in my world? You know what? I um I say that I live a liberated life, because the slaves were free. But some of them still stayed on the plantation, right? So I think that the liberation comes from when you just leave and go into a world that, you're stepping out in faith and you're
Mm-hmm.
opening yourself to just receive whatever's out there and just try new things. Speaking of, after years, pretty much I would say my entire like adult life, really my adolescence too. I've never had a lot of Black female friends. And on Friday, there were six of us sitting here at my table, and we did a karaoke game, and we had food. Everybody brought some food, and we were just like sharing, and just it was so nice. So it's
Wow.
things like that, even after years and years of off and on negative experiences, I would say with Black
Mm-hmm.
women, that just made me like, okay, I'm a fall back because I live a very uneventful life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm liberated, I just start talking to strangers and allowing people to, like, I reciprocated what people were saying to me. Like, I'm always
Mm-hmm.
polite, I'm going to speak, but they wanted to get to know me. And instead of just, like being off in the cut like I normally am, I said, well, let me give these people a chance. And it has turned into like, I have friends here.
Yes.
I
It's
stay
that
busy.
connection. Yes. It's that it's that con- it's the connection. Like I said, I've had, I think, since I've been here over the course of I just moved here in April, but over the course of that time, I think I've had overall, I want to say about maybe 15 Black women that have come into Spain. I met them either in Barcelona, I met them in Madrid, I met them here in Zaragoza. And there's like this connection, this sisterhood that just feels
Mhm.
great. There's none
Yes.
of that, you know, negativity that maybe we have been, pitting ourselves against each other because that's what
Mhm.
we were told how, oh, you're, oh, yeah, that person's this way. None of that. It's just nothing but
Mhm.
love and positive vibes and just, yes. So I understand that. I completely get that. So, okay. So you had a whole thing. I can't wait to come. Um, I'm still trying to figure out, but I have every intention on coming to Mexico next this summer, summer
Okay.
2025. That's my goal. I want to like find me like about 2 or 3 pet sits and just kind
Mhm.
of enjoy.
Well,
Yes.
I have plenty of room here. Why am I looking around like y'all can see? I have plenty of room here. So there's always an open invitation to stay here at the
Thank you.
Soul House.
Hey, hello. So what's going on in my world? So I'm not gonna because it's like at first I was like, I don't know what's been going on in my world. I'm like, girl, yes you do. You know what's
Mm.
been going on in your world. Uh Mainly, I have a pet sit coming up in Lisbon in
Mm.
December. And I went to go buy the tickets and I didn't like the price. I didn't like
Mm.
the price.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, you are going and you don't have to worry about any kind of hotels or Airbnbs. You're just going. It's like pay the
Mhm.
price and get
Yeah.
the ticket. But I'm gonna wait till Tuesday to do that. But yes, and then I did the same thing when it came to looking at the tickets for possibly going to Vietnam.
Mm. Mhm.
And I found, I mean, because it was pretty freaking expensive.
Yeah, it's a long
And my
flight.
whole thing, yeah. And also my big thing is not so much the cost of the ticket, is actually I don't want to spend some crazy amount of hours trying to get someplace. It's like me jumping across the pond, coming from the US here. That was long enough. It was like
Mhm.
11 hours, 10, 11 hours and stuff. So,
Yeah.
so I'm still, but that's what's going on. I'm still shopping for possible tickets. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, I have to get the ticket to Lisbon, and I'm looking forward to that. But the one for Vietnam, I'm still kind of like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know.
I
Anyways,
wanna go. I wanna spend about 2 months,
yeah.
in Asia and just kinda hit the spots, hopefully Korea. So Vietnam, Korea, Bali,
Mm,
Malaysia, Thailand. I have a really good childhood friend that him and his family live in Thailand. So, I mean, since you since you have to travel so far, it makes sense to just see things
Stay
on
for a
that
while.
side of the
Yeah.
world. Yeah. But
Yeah.
same with you. Like, I don't know about those long flights. And I have to have the lay flat seats. Like, I can't.
Hmm.
I'm not sitting up. I'm gonna be laying down, luxuriating like I do. But that is so much money. It makes me, get the
Yeah.
PPs and like, yeah. I
So,
don't know.
so
I don't know. You're gonna have to
I
keep
have
me in
some
your prayers.
conditions on there. It's like I have some conditions on that because I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I got to. Now, even me going to freaking Portugal, I'm like, where's the business class? And my girl that's renting from me right now. So she was like, it's a 2 hour flight. What are you talking? Well, not barely that. It's barely. I don't even think it's a 2 hour flight. I think it's maybe an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm like, but I need to go business class or at least premium economy.
I
I'm like,
promised myself um, last year, probably around this time, I tend to like the fourth quarter, I like to work on some things that I want to do next year that are going to
hmm,
challenge me. So I said, beginning in 2024, I'm only going to fly first or business. It's the same thing. It's like the first
yeah,
4 or 5 rows. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what I've been doing. So that's why when I looked at it, plus I don't like to take long flights without like the lay flat cocoons and just certain things. So
yeah,
it's just too much. I can't do it. The way that my hip flexors, my central nervous system, okay, all the way that's
yeah.
set up, I can't do it. Yeah, but that's something that it just makes me forget the hours. That in and of itself is not it, but the
Yeah.
fact that oh my god, I don't even want to think about the tickets.
And so I'm
Yeah.
still going back and forth, but that's what's going on in my world right now. And
Hmm.
so hey, I do want to before we jump over here, let's see here. I just wanted to bring up some of the comments so far.
Hey.
Just be just being me 57. Greetings, sisters, wherever you are in the world. Yes. Where are you at?
Yeah.
Yes. Just being me 57. Where are you at? Balance, where are you at? Please do share.
Hmm.
We don't we don't need the exact address. Just
Right.
just
Make a left at the corner. No, no, no.
you know where that liquor store is over off of 57? No, okay. So and then Balance says she's interested in Thailand. It said, but the distance,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Yeah,
Yes,
that's tough.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So if you are new to my little corner of live streaming, I like to start and ask the one question because I feel like it's very, very important, and that is, how are you locating your cozy? What are
Oh.
you doing for yourself that makes you happy, that brings you joy? What are you doing to help you realize or get closer to that dream, whether it is to quit that job or leave a bad situationship, relationship, whatever it is, that girlfriend, best friend, boyfriend, whoever it is, what are you doing to bring peace in your life? So
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I quit the job.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a relationship that did not necessarily make it because we're in two different places. But
Yeah.
yeah, so what I'm locating my cozy by really having left the US and being where I am right now. Like every
Okay.
single day is I don't want to say an adventure in that way, but it is like a self discovery process. Like every single day, I'm doing something that I've never done before in San Miguel or in Mexico, or just, like sometimes I look up at the stars, or if I'm doing something, I'm sitting in Centro because I like to people watch. So I go sit down
Hmm.
in Centro and it's like, this is my life right now. I have a whole house in the whole country of Mexico. Like what? So yeah, I would say that I'm locating my cozy like one day at a time here in San Miguel.
So yeah, it feels good just to be like, this is great. This
Hmm.
this is good. And really not just to appreciate it and value it and not have it be like a really deep, like with no guilt. How about that? No guilt at
Yes.
all.
No
Yes.
guilt, no shame, no condemnation. Do you? Yes.
Yes. Exactly. And
Hmm.
the thing is, so for me, how am I locating my cozy today, this weekend? So I had my granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
I am not as I've said to many people, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. I cannot. I suck at any kind of arts and crafts. But I was like, she comes over every couple of weeks, and I don't want her just be, just sitting down watching cartoons or whatever. So I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to like find things to do, and it's coming up on the holidays. So I went to I went to the dollar or whatever their version of the discount store and everything,
Mm-hmm.
where you get all the things and stuff. And I went on Pinterest, and so I was like, we can make a wreath, make a fall
Oh,
wreath,
nice.
not a holiday, not a Christmas wreath, but a fall wreath. And then what else do we do? Oh, I was making like how you like hang the pictures on the wall with just the string and the clips.
Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. And so did that, and I bought some stuff that was really cool, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna make this." It was ugly as hell when I finished it. I can't even
Oh,
blame my grandchild because it was me. It was like when I put it up on the wall, and I showed it to my daughter on the video chat, and I was like, "Look what we did." I was blaming it on my grandchild, but
yeah.
I was the one that put that ugly thing together.
Oh, well.
Anyways, I fixed it today. Now it looks great. And
Okay.
and she did her, she put her touch on there and everything. So it looks great. And then we made a wreath, but they didn't have any like fake leaves, and the like I thought I'd be able to find like a bag of fake leaves or something like that to put
Mm-hmm.
together. So we went through the neighborhood yesterday, and we found some leaves. Well, the park
Wow.
across the street was closed. So we couldn't go into the park area where there was like all the trees and everything. So we're walking down the street now. In certain parts of Spain, including here, it's just concrete.
Mm,
So my granddaughter was like, "There's a leaf," she just turned 3, and I'm like, "No, because we don't know if a dog has peed on it yet."
right.
Or it was just all these.
Right.
So I'm walking and stuff. So we didn't get any dried leaves and stuff. I was pulling down trees and stuff and just grabbing fresh leaves and things like that. Anyways, it turned out really pretty.
Mm,
I mean, for a 3-year-old, yeah.
yeah.
But it was a great time. So that was my locating my cozy. It was really awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you are making memories. That's something that I talk about. Like the
Yeah,
memory is what's important, just period, and to
yeah,
be like present in the moment and not get distracted by,
yeah.
oh, this is trash or, I had plans to go to the park. I used to would have gotten stuck there. Like, ugh, so the park is closed, like, but yeah, just being present and making memories because she's going to remember that,
Yes,
you all
and it
went
was
through
it
some
was really
things.
cute. I mean, because it was
Yeah.
just a little park. There was a bigger park down the street, but I wasn't doing all that. But just the
Yeah.
convenient park that was across the street. But yeah, it was really cool. So that was locating my cozy without guilt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds cute.
And 7, let me see here. So I'm just checking out some of the comments here. Okay. Hi, Rosalind. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is it showing? There you go. Hi, Rosalind. Oh, nope. That's not Rosalind. I'm sorry. Balance. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just a second. Okay.
That's okay.
So Balance says she's actually, she said Mexico is more reasonable, but you're in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then create something. I like the handle is in Texas.
Yeah. Oh, there's some Texases in the building, huh?
Yes. To say the least. Yes. And so, okay. Now, hi, Rosalind, for real. Okay.
Hi, Rosalind.
Rosalind was here in Zaragoza in October when I had the
Mm,
meetup here. I had like a really great meetup here, and she was here. And now we're just bonded. We're joining forces.
nice. Making friends. Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. Oh, well, before I actually let's get into it, make sure that you do like and subscribe. And also, I'm just going to go ahead and drop, and you can drop yours in also. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and fill out the attached so that you can sign up for email updates, because I do have some things going on. I have some big plans going on in 2025, and I would love for you to be the first to know. Be in the know about what's going on and what my plans are for Spain, because I want more Black people to come to Spain. So make sure it's in the description, but also I just put it in the comments also. Oh, Rosalind said she misses the pastries.
Oh, I'm sure. Postres. Ooh, my
Oh my
favorite.
goodness.
I like them a little too much. Okay. There we go.
Hold
I put my
on a second.
I put mine in the chat or in the
Okay,
comments, whatever.
awesome.
Hmm.
Awesome, awesome. So, wanted you to come on today because we both have left the US. We both have moved
Hmm.
into our spots where we want to be and where we want to stay for a while. And there's always some things that I think about, like, man, I wish I would have known this, or, I should have thought of that, And just in all fairness, I want to be clear. There are always going to be something that comes up, some issues. You're not going to know everything when you move to another country. You're not going to know
Hmm.
everything if you move to another city. You're gonna there's gonna be some hitches. Kind of like,
Hmm.
damn. But overall, I wish I would have known some things. So I actually wanted to do a live where we did actually talk about what things I wish I knew, mistakes that were made that you or I made
Hmm.
while moving to another country. So I had to think, because I was like, no, I did everything right. No, I
Duh,
didn't.
girl, bye. I know I didn't.
so, so you moved to Mexico,
Hmm.
and we all have our own inspiration. I didn't think I was going to bring this up right away because I told you I was going to wait till later on. But I
Yeah.
think that sometimes one of the mistakes that people make, um, including us, is sometimes being too much of a people pleaser and listening to other people.
Hello.
So,
My nemesis.
please do share what are your thoughts on people pleasing? What have you learned from that whole experience in your move?
Oh my goodness. So, as I mentioned, people pleasing when I was like my nemesis, because that's something that I struggled with like hard until probably I would say like 5 or 6 years ago before I started doing, before it was really brought to my attention. Because as I was telling you offline, people pleasing to me, when I thought about that, it's just like it's insecure, doormat and always wants, to make everybody happy, just like this someone that I was not, you know, on the
Mhm,
surface level. But when you start to dig deeper, people pleasing shows up in many ways. And for me, so that I didn't have any conflict, or like I avoided conflict by agreeing to do things. I did it well so that I didn't disappoint people. Like, so I'm from Cleveland and we take like our word as our bond. And if we say we're going to do something, we do it. So that's something else that was ingrained in me just from a cultural sense. At church,
mhm.
I was just taught to serve others. You want to be pleasing to God. And then I wanted to be pleasing to like my mother. She basically wore the pants in the house, and she knew that if it would take the wind out of my sails, if she would just look and say, I am so disappointed. I am so
Mm,
disappointed in you. So for me, I took that on as like, I don't want to disappoint people. And it showed up in lots of ways. I was volunteering for work, like on the job, in part again, because I didn't want any conflict. But when, you get down to it, I liked feeling needed, you know? And I liked the feeling that I got from a job well done. I didn't necessarily need the pats on the back or the attention or like the public recognition. But if I could check stuff off on my list and just like, but again, that's not that's not a good trait to have, especially in corporate America, where the more you give, the more they will take and
oh, yeah.
require. But when my therapist told me that I was a people pleaser, and I really started after I got done with my attitude, because I was like, but but I started realizing all of the ways that people pleasing shows up in our
It
lives, and
manifests in different ways, yeah.
there's like an intersection as well. Like if you, because um, I like to make like visuals. So if you have like a Venn diagram, you would have several intersections that all come from that place of people pleasing. It just shows up, different for
Mhm.
everybody. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of commonality. Yeah.
So, and I I like to think that I'm not such a people pleaser anymore, but I know I am. Who am I kidding? Okay. I think I have more control over it.
Hmm.
Um, for instance, and I say this lovingly, but and jokingly, but also I was like, hell no. My daughter the other day was like, you know what? We might want to just go ahead. Why don't we have Thanksgiving at your place now? So I live here in Spain and stuff. It's like I don't have to, because they do it on the weekend because nobody's
Hmm.
taking off for Thanksgiving here, and stuff. And I was like, oh, I said, so are you gonna cook and just bring everything over? You're gonna cook at my place? She's like, oh, no, no, no. I thought that you would just cook. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
oh no. So she
no,
volunteered you for more work.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, mm-mm. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah. So yeah, my people pleasing skills are much better now because I was like, no, okay.
Which is
Like,
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
because of course it was like, Mom, we love your cooking, and
Hmm.
no,
Mm-mm.
no.
No. Yeah.
So what you
Yeah.
need me to bring?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like my instinct is to, like in that situation, my instinct on the inside, I would have been like, well, I do have this new house. I have this big table. I have a great kid. Like I would have, like again, that's not something like I've been conditioned that
Yeah.
way for the majority of my life, minus, what, 4 or 5 years. And even in that, I was still like dealing with it. But yeah, my instinct is to just be like, okay. Or I would have said it. I would have, like, I call it volunteering for work. So if she would have been talking about, oh, because we're going to have Thanksgiving on the weekend. And I would have been like, well, do you guys want to have it here? Because I
Mhm.
would have been able to sense like where she's going, even if she wasn't
Yeah.
going there to me, it's going to come up anyway. So I'll just volunteer it because I've already justified why it's okay for me to do it. But yeah, I'm like you. I love saying no. Like I was like a toddler at one point. Like no, 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 no. Like and not I mean, I'm zhuzhing it up a little bit, but there is so much power when you say no. Like it's
Yep.
it's it's power within us. It is power to just, I think, like disrupt certain cycles.
Hmm.
And yeah, there's a lot of power in that, and it helps you maintain your healthy boundaries and helps you honor
Yeah.
the promises you made to yourself about not, doing this, that, and the third. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
say no in a heartbeat. For
And
real.
it feels good.
Yeah, it does.
Along the same, not the same thing, but I still kind of lumped it into this category. Was especially here in Spain, where and I don't know if that happens so much in Mexico, but here definitely was the staring people, the staring elderly people, and how
Oh,
they have said, but like and a lot of times before I came here, a lot of the people on YouTube was like, just it's rude to stare back at them. They started it.
right.
You stared at me first, so so
Right.
I now hardcore, like just today, as a matter of fact, so me and my granddaughter have, we were walking around in the neighborhood and stuff. And for some reason, the elderly really do like to stare. And I will dead stare them back in their face, like, what?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, I don't get the neck roll attitude,
Right.
but I will look back at them like, and then finally they'll be like, hola, except for, Wayne, Wayne is this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yes, now let's,
Right.
what? Yes, how are you? Yes. I don't,
Mhm.
the Spanish flows out when I'm looking talking to somebody in Spanish a little bit. But yeah, I acknowledge them with the cordial personality that they are now displaying to me. But if you're
Mhm.
staring at me, especially with my granddaughter, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Say something. Okay.
Well, and also there's like there's there's things that we bring with us. Again, there's just like I was talking about conditioning. There's certain
Hmm.
conditioning that we as Black women coming from the US,
Hmm.
even if we do let down certain guards, every now and again things will like pop up its head. I had a very similar incident. So because I went someplace every day this week, I went to a food competition. So they have local, it's at this rooftop space, and they have local, like small restaurants. Their head chefs compete against each other, and there's like three different dishes that they make. And so there was a woman who was there and she just turned around. So I'm staring at her and, her people's the back of their heads. And she turned around and she was, kind of staring. I thought, okay, I don't want to assume that she's staring at me, and that she's glaring at me because maybe she's looking behind me and squinting. Except when I turned around, there's nothing behind me. So same thing. Like I turned around slowly and I'm like, okay, we better have an old school, spaghetti western stare off because but it's something that I chuckled about because naturally, of course, she turned away because us Black women, especially mothers, we say so much with our eyes. We don't have to say anything.
Mhm.
We could say
Mhm.
just, things with the look. But there are some, I don't know. I think that there's some people who just don't I I was gonna say they don't appreciate like foreigners in their space. I don't even know that it's limited to that more than like maybe a like, oh, what's she doing here? Instead of like, what is she doing here? I don't know. But I
Yeah,
don't like
I
it. I
think
stare
that's
too.
the feel,
Yeah.
and I know, like, in the space where I am here in Spain, in Zaragoza, in this particular in my building, in my neighborhood, I think I've maybe seen one other Black person in this,
Mm.
like, not in the neighborhood, but, like, in the building, stuff, so
Yeah.
and I'm walking around and everything, so, you know, maybe it is a matter of like, oh wow, and stuff. And then they hear me speaking English, especially when I was talking to my granddaughter. I
Hmm.
speak to her in English. Me and my daughter are the only English that she hears really. Anyways, but yeah, it was just that the people pleasing kind of factor to me
Hmm.
was like you're supposed to not stare back at them, and I'm like, I don't subscribe to that rule
Right.
at
Right.
all.
Yeah. That's it
Okay.
too, making people comfortable um while risking your discomfort or even like
Yes,
embracing your discomfort. Like, and again,
yes,
that shows up like that's one example. If people are saying it's rude to do that, well, they're doing it. And I
yeah.
mean, it would be different if it was like a cultural thing. Like if you're in some countries that maybe do not women may not have so many rights. If a man is staring at you and it's the in the culture to look down or look away or not, stare. But if it's
Mhm.
just, well, don't do that, that's just what they do. Okay, well, I'm just gonna look back
It's
and
just
it
what I
either,
do.
yeah, it's either going to, like you said, evoke some type of hello, or sometimes if I'm close to them, I'll just start. I say hello. I love to say hello to people because they say hi back, but like I'll do it because I want to. Like
Yeah.
those years of me sacrificing my comfort, my time, my energy for other people, putting them first and doing all these things to control other people's perceptions of me or to preempt certain confrontations. Like those days are over. Yeah, those days are long gone. Mm-mm. Hi,
Well, I
Pisces. Pisces is a day one for me. She was like one of my first, I don't know, 10, 7 or something. Yeah, she's a day one. Hey, Pisces.
Thank you. Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you. So
yes.
so, the other thing, let's see here, that, the unexpected challenges that you face when you moved abroad. So, Imma start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give one example that the one of the and it's very topical. Actually, no, it's not just topical conversation, it's fact. It's the weight gain is real when
Oh
you
my
move
God.
abroad. Okay, so yes, the car is gone. I am walking everywhere. You cannot walk off the discovery of all these different foods.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, the, okay, there's a balance now, but when you first get here and get settled, girl,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
talk to me on that. Please.
Well, okay. So I'm used to in Phoenix. I was very active. I lifted weights. I walked 5 days a week, 6.5 miles. I had my little routine. And so I expected to develop a routine a lot sooner. And to be honest with you, I still don't like fully have a routine. And that's something that like I have to figure out how I can just start so I can just start, but
Mhm.
yeah, before I had my chef, see how I said that, my private chef, I had I would be ordering from Uber Eats, and it was not only expensive, the area where I live, um, that's another thing. I just figured I would be walking a lot more here, but
Mhm.
it's these cobblestones are no joke. I mean, talk about keep your head on swivel. You have to be thinking like 3 steps ahead. Like you don't even look down, like you're looking out and over. But yeah, I thought I would be doing a lot more walking. But yeah, I was ordering from Uber Eats for like damn near every meal.
Oh,
And then I
wow,
would,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was bad. I don't even know how many thousands of dollars I spent in Uber Eats for about the month. And I didn't like it because I like to cook when I want to. There's no like local Trader Joe's or Whole Foods that I can, run to or Kroger real quick. So it definitely had an effect on my weight.
And
So
that
yeah.
grocery store, that really nice grocery store that's in San
Uh,
Miguel,
City
what is
Market.
the name of
Hello. City
oh my
Market.
god.
That's the only place I
Oh
shop. I
my
tell my chef, go to City Market. Don't worry about going to La Comere. Just go on to City Market. I
best bougies. I
love
mean, they
it.
have fine dining in the restaurants
Yes, I
in the
know.
grocery
I
store.
know. And it is so, I almost feel bad when I'm picking stuff off the shelf because it's just like so
So
neat
pretty.
and tidy. Oh, I love that. But yeah, I mean, you can get, there's like, I think 5 different eateries in there. They have
Mhm.
like a full out bar. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. So that's where I shop or I'll go like after we hop off tonight. Maybe we'll go up there. I have to be careful because I'm gonna start going into the postres section and be like, what they got back here. But I pay my like utility bills. I pay some of them online, but I pay my electric bill at City
Mhm.
Market. So, like I have to get out the house and stuff. But
Just
yeah.
so you have to go. It's like,
Yeah,
I
but
guess
I
I go
love
pay
me
my
some City
bill.
Market. Yeah. Oh, I love City Market. It was over.
Yes,
It was
that was
overwhelming when I went the first time because people describe it as a Whole Foods on steroids, and I'm like, okay, so like a super Whole Foods, right? No, and
no,
it's
it's not.
deceiving from the front. It doesn't look as big as it is. So I have my little list. Okay, I'm gonna get things. But when I walked in and just started like looking around, and then when you hit like the frozen foods are on the right, and it's just like a whole I was like, I can't. Like, it's too much. Like, it's too much. Like, I didn't get
So
anything that trip. It was so I was so overstimulated. Like,
mhm.
it's a
So
lot.
in
But yeah, that's
Texas,
my
they
spot.
have Central Market. I'm sorry, I I started this part of the conversation, and now I'm like, okay, well, I need to let her like talk
Yeah.
about her challenges. But in Texas, they have Central Market. That city market in San Miguel, they have Central Market in Texas, and if you're from Texas, then that city market was like better than Central Market, which is a
Better than
hard thing for
HEB
me.
as well.
Uh, yeah, oh yeah, better than HEB. Yeah, I mean HEB. I'm an HEB queen, and
Oh,
actually Central Market is owned by HEB.
oh,
But
okay.
the experience to walk in there was
Yeah.
just amazing, and then on top of that, the customer service was bomb. I
Oh
mean,
my
it was
goodness.
awesome because I'm sitting there trying to get some help, and they weren't speaking English,
Mm-hmm.
but they helped me, and they were like, and they, went and got somebody else to like, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
right back. They were like, don't move.
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh. So, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
all that to say, the weight gain can be real when you first,
Yeah.
as you're getting acclimated. So just recognize that, try to
Mm-hmm.
stay on schedule, enjoy the walking, balance yourself with the food. What
Yeah.
is another unexpected challenge that maybe you experienced that kind of caught you
Yeah,
off
yeah.
guard when you
So
first
real
moved?
fast before we get off of the food. Well, I guess this can be a thing too. But like well, I shouldn't say food, like the weight gain. I became like stressed out when I was here. Not like, like US stressed out or when I was in corporate stressed out, but there was some stress from even though, I speak fairly good Spanish, so like the language was not necessarily a barrier, but I would like clam up sometimes or Like everything is just so. Why am I looking around like y'all? Okay, let me stay. Let me look ahead.
I do that, girl.
Like I know sometimes I watch my
Oh,
videos and it's like,
we're both pretty
yeah,
expressive, so yeah.
yeah.
It's
You know,
like
I watch
twinning
stuff
here.
on fast speed, so it's like, anyway. But everything was so different. And with the stress, it did like mess with my like hormones a little bit because I
Mhm.
was experiencing some like cortisol disruption from just being, like I said, it was nothing like it is in the US, but I was stressed here. And then that goes into, because that was like 1.5. Okay, now we're going into the second thing was that, as I mentioned to you before, I started at like zero. Like all of the, like I said, I've been preparing since that
Mhm.
fateful night on January 6th. I went to bed on January 6th, like, yeah, I'm not going to be here in 4 years. So again, I didn't know where I was going. I did a lot of preparation, very similar to how I told you that I planned at the end of 23 to like prep to be okay with flying first class from now on. That's how I was in 2022. Like, let me get myself prepared for this huge life change that I'm going to have. So I went to how I ended up choosing San Miguel was I went to a retreat at Casa Elm, one of Michelle
Oh,
Wedderburn's
yeah,
retreats,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is it. This is it. Like, okay, I'm gonna stay here. I left. I had a realtor. Like, money was wired before I even like left. And I stayed a little bit longer than I intended, but yeah. So Michelle, has someone who waits on you hand and foot. And, it's just like mysteriously the bed would be, even though I make my own bed, I can't help it.
Mhm.
And she's equally as neurotic. So we were playing kind of like a game, which sounds weird. Like she would move something over here and then I would move it back. Like it was friendly, but I'm like, oh, she's neurotic too. Because I think she had to do something. When you come into someone's room and everything looks great, I think she just had to do something. Anyway, but
Yeah.
I went back to Phoenix like, okay, I know what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to have me a housekeeper. I'm going to have somebody doing my laundry and, I'm going to have somebody cooking my meals. And when I came here, I was, fully prepared for that. Didn't take me long to get a housekeeper. Like I stayed at Michelle's for a couple weeks before I moved into this house, utilities
Mhm.
and just like some last minute things. But I had a housekeeper before I moved in here that came and cleaned everything from top to bottom. It was a team of housekeepers. So I'm just like, yes. So I move in, girl. Them housekeepers, they come every day, right? So they're like, okay. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like, don't worry about it. I'll wash the dishes. Okay, no, don't worry about it. I'll take the trash out. No, you don't need to clean my bedroom. My bedroom's fine. Like I would not let them cross the threshold. I wouldn't let them touch
Oh.
anything. And it was because I was in a space that I'd never been in before. So I was extremely uncomfortable. And what I could control in that moment was people being in my space and touching my stuff. Like I did not I did not expect that at all. It made sense again because anytime we're starting, like we have I don't like to say level up, but for lack of better terms, like whenever we are leveling up or elevating to a new place in our
Mhm.
lives, we are starting at zero. But I don't know why I didn't think about it here, but ooh, yes, like I had to call my therapist. Like it was like I knew logically, like you're paying these people. Like, why are you
It's like,
no,
let me do my job.
right? And they would be look like I would say, no, that's okay. And they just kind of stand there like, but yeah, that was something that I didn't expect that I would have like a little mini freak out.
Wow. You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, it's like you don't know until you're actually there, stuff, and it's like there's all these different emotions and
Hmm.
levels of consciousness that you're going through and
Hmm.
stuff. So yeah, I get that. I get that. So financial surprises. What was like a a how did you manage financial surprises or like some hidden cost?
Oh my God. Okay, so set the Uber Eats aside. I have not, okay, let me calm down. Because see, when I start doing this, that's Cleveland that comes out. Hands in your lap,
Wait
baby.
a minute. As you said that Uber Eats and stuff, I'm going back, create something. Said, did you say thousands of dollars?
Yes,
When
girl,
you talk about
thousands. So
eating.
so I eat a certain way. And I do like fine dining. Like I'm a foodie, so if somebody says like, "Oh, you need to go to this taco stand in the middle of whatever," if it's good, I'm there. But typically, the food that I like to eat, locally sourced materials, not just like something that's been frozen and they're slapping stuff, nice cuts of meat or really good salads and stuff, that tends to fall on the fine dining side. But even if it didn't, so my Uber One does not work here. So those like 19, and don't forget, I moved here, I think now it's probably around 20 something to the dollar still. Let me see. But when I moved here, it was like 16 something, maybe even 15. Yeah, now we're at 2037. So it's been staying around that, 20 dollars 50 cents, whatever per peso.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Okay, then mathematics not my ministry, but it was like 15, 16. So the 19 pesos right now is not, it still adds up when you're ordering Uber Eats twice a day. And so the peso didn't go as far as it's going now. No.
Okay,
Yeah, it
gotcha.
was bad. It was thousands. I didn't even add it up because I don't want to. I don't want to see it. Yeah. And then
Are
it
you
gets to
talking
be
about thousands of pesos or thousands of $1,000?
no thousands of dollars
Oh,
USD
okay.
because it's
Yeah.
linked to my
Okay.
Capital One, so Capital One doesn't charge any like conversion fees. But no, thousands of dollars. Yeah, thousands,
Gotcha.
easy.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, when it comes
Mhm.
down to like the eating out, yeah, I can. That's probably the biggest bill. Besides, my rent. I think my
Mhm.
biggest monthly bill is like between. I mean, I've scaled down a lot. Again, because I was eating out a lot and stuff, especially when I
Mhm.
had like the whole when a lot of women coming in over the past in October. But that's probably one of my biggest expenses. I'm sorry. Go back to your you were saying your unexpected costs. Okay.
Yes. And I
You
love
were
I eat
saying.
out a few times a week. But again, I have a chef come to prepare my food. So anyway, so yes. So another thing was I'm looking around like so the type of furniture that I like that's comparable with what I had in the US, that I also had things made, like furniture made in the US. I did not realize how much in pesos and USD. It was a grip. Either way you want to look at it, how much like okay, let me back it up. It has been years, decades. I had my first place, I was 17, almost 18. So 30, so yeah, 40, wait a minute, 30 plus years. Yeah, so for 30 plus years ago was the last time that I moved into an absolutely empty place with absolutely nothing. And so I didn't realize how much goes into forget furniture, but everything down to spoons. Like at least okay, so I had enough sense to bring like some silverware. I'm trying to think in the kitchen. I think that's it. Like I have some, I have some silverware. But I mean, yeah, I knew I had to buy things, and I've made trips back and forth, but I still had to buy like a pan to use until I knew I was going back because I went back. I think like 3 weeks. I was back at the end of July, so I was only here for like 3.5 weeks before I went back. So of course I brought more things, but I have had to buy every stitch of anything in this house. I mean,
And you started at 0
girl, you want to talk about
in
like
every sense.
I knew that I would have to do it, right? Because the house is empty, but it has been so long since I've been in an empty house and not have like, it's not like I'm moving. I moved here, like physically, but it's not like, oh, I'm moving across town or even to a
Yeah.
different state. Like I moved to a different country. Yeah, that was yeah. So I think the Uber is still going to be first on how much I did not expect to spend so much. But the next thing is just buying so many like little things because I go to reach for something, I don't have it. Okay. So now I have to buy it.
Mhm.
Amazon does work here. They have something my Amazon one does not. So sometimes it's cheaper I do price comparisons. Sometimes it's cheaper to import things from Amazon US and just have it sent to my house in Mexico because I can use Prime and the like the import fees are less than if I bought it on Amazon Mexico, and then sometimes vice versa. I just go buy
Okay.
things locally. There's several like cities around San Miguel that they make, stoneware, and they're known for, plants and just all type of things. But everything, even like for my Denver, I'm like, dang, I need placemats because I have none. My placemat was one of them, like yellow microfiber towels. That was my placement. So I'm like, I can't invite people over on like this handmade, parota wood table and be like, oh, here's your placemat. So I had to order some placemats. Like, it's just every time I think of something, I got to spend money.
So let me just say this. Everybody has different tastes, different styles. Right now, the people at City Home, which is the discount store, it's like a little bit lesser than a Ross, I would
Hmm.
say.
Ooh.
I go in there like twice a week. They know me. They literally know my face. It's like I'm surprised they ain't said, "Hey, Miss Yolanda," because they not come in there so much. It's like, "Here's my card." Um, but and the thing is, I was just saying just like last night, just a few hours ago, how I'm looking forward since I now have my 5-year visa.
Hmm.
Um, the apartment that I moved into when I first got here, the flat that I have right now, it came
Hmm.
furnished pretty much. But it's like all these IKEA white tables, and
Yeah,
I'm sick of them.
that's
My
not it.
dining table, and I'm thankful for it
Right.
because
I got you.
my
But
place came with all the silverware and all the
yeah.
stuff. It's just I just had to add my own like touches to make it
Hmm.
mine and make it work. But I do look forward to moving into my own place that is not furnished so I can get the couch that I want, so I can get the dining table that I want, and not
Hmm.
just something that's working for me right now. Now, had I, been planning, like I was like, I'm just gonna stay here a year and I'm out, then yeah, no, I'd be happy with this, with my current furniture, and just been like, yeah, deuces when I leave in a year.
Hmm.
But I know that I've been approved for 5 years. Well, I'll be here for the 5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I want to have something when I come home that's like it really speaks to this is my taste. This is
Yeah.
what I need. And it doesn't have to be anything that's, it crazy expensive, but
Right.
it does have to be very, very appealing to me in my
Hello. Look, when I
eyes.
come around the corner each day, like I love wood. In the US, I restore and build mid-century modern furniture. So I have a
Mm,
thing about wood. I love me some wood. And that's why when I got here, I knew about like parota wood is
mhm.
kind of like a native wood. It's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. So I searched low and high to find someone who makes more like Scandi furniture because there were a lot
Okay.
of carpenters saying, "Oh, I can do it." No, I'm like, I need someone that this is the style that they make naturally.
Yeah.
So
Not
I
like
was
I guess
able,
I can. No.
no, no, no.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I did that. And then with my sofa, um, I didn't want, first of all, I don't know why everything is so low to the ground here. I do know, I'm not gonna say. So, and I'm not even tall. I'm like 5'3" and some change, right? So
Mhm.
everything was just so low. It was just like cheaply made. I'm like, I can't do this because it's the same wherever you go. If you
Yeah, I mean,
buy
but you have a
something that's
brand new spanking new house. That's
even
yeah, you need
still, I like to buy quality things. And so even
yeah.
though my couch was extremely expensive in both the US and Mexico, like they treated me like a queen in that showroom. And I when I think about it, the equivalent of pesos, like my couch would have been if I would have had this couch like made, because I did. I picked out all the fabrics, I picked out like the
I remember when you were
styles.
going through that
Yeah,
whole
like
journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like in the showroom. But if that would have happened in the US, that couch would be probably about like 25,000, right?
Good
Because it's a
Lord.
it's a custom made,
I don't
beautiful.
understand the words that are coming out your mouth right now, but
Yeah.
okay. I'm
Okay.
happy for you. Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Okay.
I didn't buy no, I didn't buy the equivalent of it. What I'm saying is in pesos is a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
like closer to that, right? But in pesos, that is a $25,000
Gotcha.
couch. So
Okay,
I'm in
gotcha.
a place where, and there were 3 showrooms. I do extensive research. I know what I like. This is my 12th home that I've owned. I know what I like. I know what I don't like.
Yeah.
I know what I need. I also think about like any resale or like rental or vacation property potential. Also, this couch comes with a lifetime warranty because it's not made by like a big, some places being shipped in.
Yeah.
They make them outside of Guadalajara, and that's where they shipped it in from. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that I
So that was a
think.
big surprise. Like
Yeah, because okay, so of course, I walk into the showroom. I already wanted to see certain like couches and fabrics. So I walk in there. My salesperson name is Paul. And so they're like, "Oh, she's still at lunch, so you can just sit down." So of course I sit down on this couch. I'm like, "Oh, it's nice. It's comfy. Reminds me of a teddy bear, like." And then they're like, "Okay, come on up." So she showed me the couches, and I'm like, "I don't want these." Like, they're like, "Oh no, we can." I was like, "Well, I like that couch downstairs." She's like, "No, well, we can do this, we can do that." I'm like, "Do you have that fabric in this model?" She was like, "No, we have things that are similar." I'm like, "I don't know. I don't like this anymore." And I had a driver with me. And so I'm like, he was sitting on all the couches and chairs and things like that. So I sat
Mm.
down. He was like, "Yeah, this is really nice." Of course, the couch that just spoke to my heart, that I'm like, I have to have this couch, was the most expensive couch in the whole place. Like, I didn't like, I was just like, I don't, I'm like, I don't even want to know. And legit, I held my card. Like, it took me forever to take it out. And then I just held it. And I'm like, I can't, I just kept saying, like, I can't. Like, I had like a little, a little like malfunction. Does not
Having a
compute,
whole big
like,
conversation with yourself, trying to be
yeah,
like,
like,
yeah,
but again, it has a lifetime warranty. It's transferable, so whomever I sell it to, they can
well,
have
that's
it as
good.
well. So it's kind of like that's what I told myself. But again,
It's an
that's
investment piece.
something that I am working on. Kind of like how I said, I told myself I'm going to fly at first class, and that's why I don't want to go to Asia because I'm scared of them ticket prices. There's, I have like, every now and again, I realize that I have some problems with money. Now, not money problems, but I have problems with money. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. Even if the money is there, it's not going to stress me out. I feel like that broke single mom again, where I'm going to give the card, give my debit card or like whatever. Back in the day, it was like,
And wait a minute, and
swipe
cross your
and
fingers and
you
hope
just be
the
like,
transaction goes through.
like, oh my God. Like, it still makes me feel, and I honestly believe that fear comes from a place of lack. And I will never forget, not that I want to forget and not that I want to remember, but it's still there. And that's just a part of me. There were
Yeah.
some years where we didn't have much, that, I made sure my son ate every night, but there were times when I went to bed hungry, including when I left. Like, that was when I first moved out on my own. I got put out, so I lived on my own. And then when I left my ex-husband, except this is not a baby. This is not like, an infant.
Yeah.
He was like 14 or something. So, like boys, they grow so fast. He's not stupid. He can see that like there's nothing really in the pantry. And, even though we
Yeah.
would sit and eat together, I'm not eating and he is. And so,
Yeah. It was the
there's
survival. We were in survival mode up until a few
exactly.
years ago. I was in
Yeah.
survival mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more, it's not, we understand.
Yeah.
Again, some people like are thinking, we might have different scenarios or different levels of life or wherever we are right now. So, but overall, we
Hmm.
do understand, and that's why I wanted to maybe expand me doing my lives and I actually had put it out there to offer to interview. I wanted to interview some other women that maybe haven't left yet, that are
Hmm.
actually still on the journey and the thinking process and the planning process, and I wanted to meet them where they are to talk to
Hmm.
them about what what it's like. And
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to talk today about the possible things that you don't think about. My thing that going back to like some of the unforeseen financial surprises, I got my ticket to Spain. I bought it like, because I moved here in April. I want to say I bought my ticket like in, I don't know, January, February. And I got business because
Hmm.
I was like doing that no matter what. Did I
Hello.
do business? No, I think I did premium economy when I came here.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't help
I
you with
think I
that.
did. Anyway, okay.
I'm
Well,
fast and I'm
I'm
brand new
trying to
down here in
think.
San Miguel.
I think because I knew I was moving, I think I did just do, because I was like, it was a one way, and
Hmm.
I just went ahead and did premium economy. What? because I'm like, I wouldn't have blocked that out of my mind. Anyways, the bottom line was it was still a waste of money because I was like freaking out because I had never moved across the country, to another country
Mhm.
before. And I didn't know I wasn't bringing furniture, but I had stuff. I had my stuff, like I had
Mhm.
clothes. I had like a couple of things that I was like, I'm not getting rid of. Like, I have my little orange pillow and I have, just things that were just
Yeah.
important to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, I ended up because I didn't know, and I started like doing the research, and people were like, "Just go send my bag, send your things, send my bag." Because I was like, I'm going to be struggling, once I get off the plane and get to baggage claim and try to get on a train with all these bags and stuff. And somebody said, "Just send my bag," and so I have the capacity for these two check bags, but I ended up spending about actually it came up to about $600
Okay,
to
that's not
send the
too bad.
three
Yeah.
big. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
wasn't. It
To
really, but
save
it
you
still hurt
time,
my
effort,
feelings.
in your back and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gave me peace of mind, and the customer
Yeah.
service was
Yeah.
on point. They were good. When
Mhm.
they said they were gonna show up, it wasn't like, "We'll be here between 12 and 6."
Yeah.
No, they said that they would be here within I think they gave, like, a 30-minute time frame or something like that. Or maybe it was, like, a little bit longer, so but they were, like, there, like,
Yeah.
maybe they said between 1 and 3. I'm just throwing stuff out here,
Yeah.
but they were there at, like, 1:15. And yeah, just wonderful. And the guy was just so appreciative because he was like, "Oh wow, you have everything labeled." And anyways, that wasn't at an expense. I
Yeah.
had to accept it. It gave me peace of mind, hurt my
Yeah.
feelings a little bit.
Mhm.
Another thing that okay, financial wise and stuff, it wasn't an added cost, but it did hit. I I think that happened one time to me, but this was like a long time ago. Not since I moved. Make sure you notify your banks. Not
Oh my goodness. Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on. I'm getting a little.
Notify your
Oh.
banks. Don't go to another
Yes.
country and try to make some transactions and buying stuff, and they're like, declined,
Right.
declined. We don't know you. You done
Yeah.
stole our friend's
Right. Right.
credit card number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got the
Like,
fraud
okay,
block.
Patricia,
Please
put the
call.
card
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Notify your bank because if not, you will be putting everything back
Hmm.
because they're like fraud.
Yeah.
So make things. And a lot of times the I've contacted, like, the various credit card companies, and they're like, you really don't have to do that now. But I'm like, you know what, I don't want to mess around and find out, so I'm letting
Right.
each one know. I usually only use one particular card whenever, like,
Mhm.
since I've been here, there's might be one other card that I might have to use every now and then, but overall I try to stick with just one card. That's it. And so to make sure I'm paying that off and there's no big surprises. But yeah, notify your bank. Did you have a bad situation or a scary situation come up?
Yes, I did. It was recently, actually. So I went to go do a little bit of grocery shopping because I buy some of the things, like the more expensive things, like fish or seafood or whatever, like
Mhm.
for the chef. And she just goes, when she goes, she buys like all the other odds and ends for the menu that we planned. So I was at the store and I needed to get cash to pay her, to pay the housekeeper. So I went to the machine. I hit the wrong, I hit Visa instead of checking savings because I use my Charles Schwab
Mhm.
um, uh, debit card to take out pesos, and then I use my Cap One Visa just for purchases and stuff because neither of them, have those fees. So because I put the wrong thing, it kicked it back. And I'm like, oh, okay, because in City Market, there's like a wall of ATMs, probably like 5 or 6 of them. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go to the next one. So I do that, and it didn't have enough money. So I'm like, that's fine. So I went to the next one, and I think that one didn't have enough money either. So I'm like, you know what, forget it. I'm about to go because I already have my groceries and stuff. I said, I'm just about to have the driver take me to like a standalone bank that shares the same, parking lot. It was spitting that card out like something, something, call this, call that. So I called. They were like, yeah. So we have a that's we had to put a fraud block on there. And then I thought about it. One ATM wrong, two ATM, three ATM. Like that's what someone would be doing, which is
Mhm.
fine. And I appreciate that level of security. However, when I called the lady, she's like, "Oh, ask me some questions. Like, what's your account, number ending?" I'm like, "I have no idea because my phone is not working in this little bank, like room."
Mhm.
And she was like, "Okay, well, tell me what positions you're holding." I said, "You're staring at my account, right?" I said, "You want me to?" I said, "Hell if I know." I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I'm like, I think I bought some like American airline stock like earlier the week. I'm like, I cannot run down all these things. But anyway, yes, it locked my card up, and she took me all around the mulberry bush until she was like, "Okay, well, hold on, I'm just gonna call and have this released," and she did. But I was like, it again. It just thank goodness that didn't happen when I first got here because
Yeah.
I think that would have just been like it would have been too
I
much.
can't. I just can't.
And honestly, I think that is like I'm starting to when things happen to me, or I think if I was in a different position, just either emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever, I see
Mhm.
why people move and then they go right back. Like there's some things I think that like I could see, especially like my
Just
car's
send you
not
screaming like,
working.
"I just can't do it. I
If
can't
I
do
didn't
it."
speak
Yeah.
any Spanish, if I move someplace where I only got Uber Eats, but I don't have, all of this money. And to me, I think that what I spent, that's why I bring it up all the time, is how much I spent on Uber Eats because yes, it was sustenance, but I don't like it got to the point where I was just ordering things. Like, let me try this. This is
Mhm.
trash. So now I'm going to bed hungry because I don't even want to eat this. So, that to me was like partial waste of money, partial necessary expense. But yeah, I could
Oh, yeah.
see why people would go back if they had not prepared in one way or another. Or even like how I said, here I am with this dream life, many would say. And I made a video called Soft Life Struggles with a question mark. Because if I was to tell you, like, oh, yeah, I'm having some soft life struggles, people would be like, soft life struggles? Yes. So that's why I put the question mark. But I did a lot of self work. So I think that helped me because there were times when I was just questioning all of my life decisions before I went, like sitting, at an empty, sitting on the floor, like eating my food or standing like at the breakfast bar. I would just stand there. I would be working, I would be eating, just like there were times when I'm like, what am I doing? Everything that I was buying, oh, I have to order this. I have no, no whatchajicky cups, no measuring cups. I don't know how to work
What's your
this
digging cups?
stove. Like,
What's your digging cups?
yes, the whatchajicky
Really?
cups. Well, also I didn't have any glasses, no plates, no anything. So again, it's just like it can be not only a culture shock, it could be like a shock to your senses. It
Yeah.
like a lot. So the more time I'm here, the more people I interact with and just hear other people's perspectives and then know how I was feeling on the inside, I could see why people are not. I think there's some people who are not financially prepared. I don't know if they come here, I talk about stepping out in faith. Okay. Their bank account was stepping out in faith. All right. But I also think that there's some people who just they don't deal with some of the things they need to deal with. Like you were saying on your live the other day, I think it was Friday. Like I'm hearing a bunch of women lately saying, like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. It's like, so you would be running from the place where at least you know where stuff is and bring that same version of yourself to some place where
Mhm.
potentially there's a language barrier
You're not working
or
on
a
healing yourself.
transportation barrier. Now you're
Yeah.
just heaping stuff on top. Like it's going to be exponentially worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, I also wanted to just add in there one of the things, and I put this under the financial surprises and hidden costs, is this. Do not assume that you're going to get a job when you get someplace. Okay, listen, I've seen, and this, I haven't seen it like within our like Exodus Summit community or
Hmm.
anything like that and stuff, but I've seen it in some of the other groups, and it's like, well, I'm gonna just find a job when I get there. It's like, what are you doing?
Right. Is
What?
that even legal? First
You
of
are
all.
setting yourself up for
Hmm.
failure if you think that
Yep.
that's the process, and that also speaks to let most people know you have not done your research.
Yeah, yeah. Or you want to
You
use
are
a VPN, like don't do it. I mean, there's ways around it. I'm not about to talk about it here. Okay, I have assisted some people. That's not the point. Let me stop. Let me make a legal U-turn impossible. Let me turn around. But no, there's like you cannot hide with the VPN, or you need to tell your people that you're leaving. And it's either they're going to say, okay, which there's been a lot of people who were honest with their employers and they're like, okay, that's fine. And then I'm sure there's probably, there's probably
and
others
some
who
that
are
are
like,
like,
yeah,
no.
you can't do that. But to me, I would not risk my livelihood on a sneak tip. Like it, no,
Mm-mm.
no, it's not that serious because in this day and age, it's tough for a lot of people to find jobs. And
And
here,
if
it's
you
not
haven't
even
secured
legal.
a yeah, if you haven't secured a remote job, a work from
Hmm.
home job, before leaving, even if it is part time, um,
Hmm.
don't think that you're just gonna like go to like if you haven't been able to find that part time job and you don't have the proper savings. Let me just
Right.
that caveat. If you don't have the
Hmm.
proper financial resources to get you through at least I would say at least 6 months.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah. I
moving to
agree.
another country, don't think that you just need maybe 1 month of savings and then you're just going to find another job that's going to let you work remote, part time. That's not how that works.
Right.
So, I yeah, even when because I literally got the client that I had gotten right before I moved here.
Hmm.
Um, I still knew that I was okay for a few months and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew I was still going because I
Hmm.
knew that I had some financial resource to keep me afloat, and plus also my daughter lives here.
Right.
So I mean, I wasn't like going to go stay in an Airbnb for like months on end and stuff.
Oh God, that's
I was
expensive too.
yeah, so I was staying with my daughter until
Yeah.
my apartment was ready.
Hmm.
Okay.
I heard
So
the
but
little
I
sass. I know that's right.
Hi. Okay. Let me just go ahead in here and put up a see what some people are saying in here. And I know
Mhm.
that you have a hard stop. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
we're
through a few
good. We're
more.
good for
Oh,
probably about
okay, okay.
another,
Good, because we're
25,
having a
30
good time.
minutes. We're good.
Okay,
Hmm.
good. So, I'm wide awake, y'all. It is literally 1:15 in the morning here. I'm wide awake because I'm
Oh
thoroughly
no.
enjoying this live. This is why I'm like, I think
Um,
I'll be doing this regularly. So get ready.
yeah, you should. Yeah.
so, so let's see here. Butterfly Effect said, I missed the opportunity to meet April while in SMA last week, and I hope to meet you next time.
You were there last week? I was here last week. Wait a minute. Duh. Wait a minute.
Did
Sometimes
you
I
really
say
just
like the
say that?
ditziest things. It keeps me humble. Okay. Yeah. Did you hit me up? You got to hit me up. Like anyone that comes to SMA, let me know. I am always looking to, even if, because I told you I love to go sit in the park and watch people and listen to the singers and things. That's free 99. But yeah, yeah, I'm bummed. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, next time you're back, let me know.
Oh my goodness. I just wanted to just catch this and stuff. This was from Rosalind and stuff, just off subject, but still, I just had to put it up there stuff because yeah. When she came, so she was in Spain and we were talking about getting adjusted to certain things and stuff. But one of the things that, and then also, the weight gain, I had to make
Hmm.
sure I had to stop eating late at night. So when she came, when Rosalind was here, and we had the reservations were always for like 9 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
And she was like, I don't know if I can eat that late. I was like, you will, girl. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
You will. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. I'll be eating late too. When I go out, it's like, well,
yeah.
it's,
And
yeah.
that's the only saving grace for me right now is because now I have my own place. It is right here in the
Mhm.
center, in the city
Yeah.
center area, but because I don't like eating that late.
Hmm.
So I tend to actually cook, just at home or grab something early, maybe a little bit earlier. Basically, I might go out maybe once or twice a week now, well, at least once a week, but no more than twice a week right now, just because I don't want to eat at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I just
Hmm.
it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see that.
And so yeah, it's about a realistic food budget because you'll be discovering the food. So
Oh God.
some of the things I wanted to bring up, and I don't know, the mistakes that some people have made is not planning ahead on your arrival. Like,
Ooh, yes. Yeah.
first of all, if you are working, I would, and you're relocating, please don't schedule any important meetings that first, like, like I would say the first week. Like
Yeah.
take that time off if you're relocating, especially.
Hmm.
Now, if you're like, trying to keep it on the down low, I don't want to know. Don't tell me nothing. Don't put nothing in the comments that, might be able to be subpoenaed. Okay.
Wait, not subpoenaed. What? That could be admissible in a court of law?
Yes,
Okay, go
yes,
ahead.
I don't wanna know.
Not
But
subpoenaed.
yeah, but if you're moving, I would say take some time to get to get adjusted, because if
Yeah.
you go to your new place, wherever you're living and stuff, and be like, "Okay, I just need 24 hours and I can start working," you will
Mm.
become very resentful.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you need time to acclimate to your new environment. Yes, you got to work, get that, but take the time to, one, make sure that you have everything that you need immediately set up.
Hmm.
Like, like your check your phone before you leave. Check your phone for compatibility
Yeah.
for either an eSIM.
Hmm.
Also, just FYI, if you didn't know, you usually cannot get an eSIM, or yeah, you can't get an eSIM if you're still paying on your phone.
Right. It has to be
Yeah,
paid
you
off
have,
and
yeah, it
unlocked.
has to
Yeah.
be paid off. Yeah.
Hmm.
Little things, yes, that
Yeah.
some people, yeah, didn't know. I've had some people come over here that were trying to get an eSIM, like the eSIM just for the travel that you could just download, couldn't do it
Yeah.
because
Mm-mm.
they were still
Mm-mm.
paying on their phone. I was
Yeah.
I was like, "That's the craziest thing." But yeah, you would have to go in and get the physical SIM card and then put it in, but eSIM, you can just
Yeah.
actually, I don't even know if that works. Does that work with if you get the physical SIM, if it's still locked, or does the phone have to be unlocked for
I
you to
don't
put your
know. Like, yeah, because
Yeah,
mine are paid off. I know it's
yeah,
so limited to do things when the
mhm,
phone is not paid off. And so, yeah, I usually
yeah,
pay mine off as quickly as possible.
yeah.
But
I
there
paid
are,
my
oh,
phone
go ahead.
off before I left, before I moved here. I was like, "I don't wanna deal with that hassle," so I just went ahead and
Yeah.
paid it off. Yes,
Yeah. And there's also
yes.
some plans. So I have T-Mobile and it works in Mexico and a few other countries. So I don't like, I'm not concerned about that. Plus, I go back enough. I think maybe if I was here for 6 months and never went back, that may be something. But I get like, I have free, my
Okay.
phone is still the same. Let me not say free, but my phone and the plan and everything is still the same.
You have
So that's
access.
an
You have all the
option.
same
But
access.
yeah.
Okay,
And you may want
okay.
to get like Google Fi or something. Like there's other options, but you have to make sure that your telecommunications, that you have a couple plans, even if it just means you need to buy a cheapy phone or something. But yeah, you have to think about that. Like you said, is it
Mhm.
compatible? Do you
Yeah.
have, will you have Wi-Fi? Like, like I said, I didn't even move in here without Wi-Fi. And I have a mesh network because even though this house is brand new, it's old
Mhm.
and it still has like the, 2.5 feet plaster walls. There's no signal like going through there. So shoot, if it's not for the Wi-Fi, now I can go upstairs for whatever reason and talk on my phone if I go like on one of the terraces, but otherwise my phone does not get a signal in this house.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking it's like you have to go to the corner, just go to the very corner and just, like, hold
Yes.
it up just like this, try to
Yeah. And be like FaceTime. And yeah, so because sometimes the power goes out here. Oh, speaking of power, but not really in my mind, it makes sense. So I ran out of gas on Friday. They have like the gas tanks here. Then, it's off in the cut.
Oh.
I ran out of gas. I was taking a shower and I'm like, huh. I said, this water is cold. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, because I was washing my hair and it's a whole thing. It takes a long time. So I'm like, oh, maybe I took all of the hot water. But then I'm like, no, it's a box on the wall. It's like on demand. And I'm like, well, maybe something's wrong, with the
On
thing.
demand hot
And I'm
water.
like, it's brand new. Well, just because it's brand new. So I'm like, okay, I called my friend and she was like, well, do you have gas? And I'm like, I thought gas was to me, gas is only for the oven. I don't know. I felt just like, ugh. So I had to pay. It was like around 100, I think it was like 115 or so USD. And I didn't fill the gas up. It's at like 60% right now. So that's
Mhm.
something that even though the water is nothing, like nothing, the electricity, It is not very expensive, but you pay it every other month. So that makes it,
Mhm.
seem a little bit more reasonable. But that gas is not cheap. They have to bring the truck, they hook it up. Yeah. So it's just things like that. Where you are moving, I mean, obviously, duh, we know it's not the same. But
Yeah.
even where I'm living in a house in a neighborhood where we have, we can flush the paper, we can do it's all this development. But I ran out of gas. So because it doesn't come from the city line. There is no city line. So, just
Wow.
certain things that again, like these little things add up.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know the big things add up because we see them. Like they're just these huge, lump sums. But these little things add up fast. A lot of them do. So,
Yeah.
and I was
Things.
displeased about that. I'm like, 100, what? I'm like, it's not even full. Like, so, okay. Anyway.
So jumping on. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. I skipped
Mhm.
one. I skipped one. Okay. So oh, what is this? Phew, how did I miss this? Okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Biggest mistake you made about packing.
Hmm. So the first time, nothing. The last time I went back for my son's birthday, wait a minute, the second to the wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so the last time I went back in September for his birthday, um, I brought back some things. Like, okay, I'll bring back a couple things because it's so warm during the day. Like it's the same temperature, pretty much in the like high 70s, low 80s. It stays around that range. But at nighttime it gets cold. And I did not. I call them my I'm waiting for Jesus to send my husband ballet flats because they just like I have a whole I have a whole closet full of shoes and clothes and dresses. For whatever reason, I didn't think to bring back like warm clothes. I don't I yeah, so that's a mistake. Now, when I came here for the retreat, I overpacked. So I think that can
Okay.
be like if you are not like you're further away. So let's just say once a year you go back to the US. But if you know you're going back, every 2, 3 months, three times
Your
or so a
quarterly trip.
year,
Yeah.
right? Like just bring what you need. Also, although I don't like buying things that I know that I already have, or if I forgot something, there's some times where you're just gonna have to like don't stress yourself out about things. And if you have the couple dollars to spare, just do it. But yeah, there's a lot of overpacking that I did. I don't know, in my mind, I thought I was just gonna need like 3 outfit changes. I have no idea. And normally I'm not an overpacker, so that was very weird for me. But yeah, that's a mistake I think a lot of people make is overpacking, or in my case, not packing enough for the weather.
I think the overpacking thing was because my daughter was would say this to me. I mean, I'm good at it now, but you're not moving to like some stranded off the grid place for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
Some might want to, but
Mhm.
overall, the places that I'm seeing that most, especially Black women right now, stuff are talking about going to, even if you go someplace in Africa, they got stores, they got
Right, right,
malls. You
right,
don't need to pack your whole world. They got
right.
furniture.
Yes.
So you might have to get it custom made, or
Mhm.
but there's,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, and I say that lightly because they have the resources. It's not a
Mhm.
third world country that you're looking at moving to that
Right.
has nothing
Yeah.
that you need.
Mhm.
Yes, I like my very specific toothpaste. They don't
Yeah.
have it here in
Oh, yeah, I
Spain.
bring
I
mine. I bring all type of stuff, spices,
Yes,
toothpaste, like, yeah, things that I like.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But but then eventually over time, because I had so many people come, and like my sister-in-law, funniest thing is stuff she got me. I said I needed some Lowry seasoning salt, and I said I like
Mhm.
some real lemon pepper seasoning because they have a lemon pepper and it's not the same thing. So,
Mhm.
girl, I don't know where she came with these two big, huge, like Costco
Oh,
size
no.
containers, two each, two
Oh.
things of Lowry's and two things of lemon pepper seasoning,
Whoa.
huge. Just
Whoa.
and I was just like, what? And stuff. It's like, and I appreciate it. Don't get me
Mm,
wrong, but also I was like, damn. So I have come to the fact and understanding that even though I like my certain toothpaste in the states,
mhm.
I'm adjusting to
Yeah,
this is the toothpaste that we have here. Now,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. Again, I'm so thankful for that Lowry season salt because I just made a dish last night. I was like, all I put on there was Lowry's, and it
Yum,
was
yum, yum,
freaking
yum.
delicious. Yes, yeah. Me
Yes.
and my granddaughter were like chowing down. But yeah, just know that. Just remember that you don't have to like bring everything. It's like I think the one thing that I'm glad I did bring, I stocked up on washcloths.
Yeah, I brought
Yeah,
sheets, towels. Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
stocked up on washcloths just because that's not the norm, and the towels, the little washcloths that they do have are still too big. So
yeah.
yeah, stocking
Like
up on
face towels.
washcloths.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, face towels.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely. Let's see here. Language barriers. What do you wish you had done differently?
Well, es muy importante a mí hablar español todo lo posible, okay?
Look at
So,
showing off now. What? Okay.
you know what? Let me tell you what. Like I would not have put so much pressure on myself. I tell this story because I used to be like fluent. I mean, I spoke
Yep.
Spanish to my students all day long. The Walmart I went to had everything in Spanish. You know, just like the parents that I would be interacting with when I was a teacher, they all spoke Spanish. Yes, I know that's right, Pisces. Okay, girl. But yeah, it's like I wish I would not have been so hard on myself. And like I said, I tell this story that every single day for I don't know, like pushing 10 years now. I subscribe to Webster's Word of the Day every single day for nearly a decade. I see a word that I don't know. Now, I speak English. I speak English fluently, but yet there's words I don't know. And it wasn't until I stopped like putting the pressure on myself or feeling dumb. I know I'm not dumb, but I just felt so like, because I think I told you, like, I would just like lock up sometimes and I'm like, I just felt like putting so much pressure on myself. And that's no longer me. So it feels strange. It feels really strange to put pressure on myself or to, say some of the negative self speak that I, have been delivered from like years ago. But that is what I would say about the language. I wish I would have learned earlier to just not, just not put that pressure on myself and just talk. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let go.
Yeah.
I would say one is know your basic currency, know the local
Yeah.
currency.
Yeah.
It's a Google search. And the reason why I say this is because back in 2016, my first international trip was to Costa Rica, and I went because my daughters just said they told me because they knew I had this big thing about flying and everything, and so for Christmas 2015, they got me some luggage and they said go get your passport.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking you to Costa Rica. I was like, okay. So I had time to, get some drugs and everything stuff to make sure I was chill on my way down there. And so I was like, okay, let's go. Girl, I get there, go to the store and everything stuff, and the lady says something and I was buying something and I just brought out the cash and I was like, here. The lady was like, and I'll take this and this and this.
Yeah.
She could have been
Yeah.
ripping me off. I have no
Right.
idea.
Right.
I mean, she
Yeah.
wasn't. I know she wasn't. But yeah, know your currency. Look it up to
Mm-hmm.
understand what the currency looks like and the value. Very
Right.
important. Yeah, don't go
Yeah.
down there like I did. So yes.
Well, you see, I picked up my phone because I have an app on here. What is it called? I think it's called My Currency.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's called the Currency app, and it's got like a yellow with like a white dollar sign in the middle. But I use that because the thing is, when you come here, what I had to start doing was thinking in pesos, not
Hmm.
compare like, oh, that's all this is. No, I had to, like how I said with my couch, like
Hmm.
my couch would be the equivalent of a
Okay.
$25,000 couch, like in pesos. So that's why I really didn't want to give it up. When she started tallying up the receipt and stuff, I'm like, but to your point, like you have to have at least an understanding or tools. Like another one
Mhm.
with like Google Translate. What I personally would do, because unless you have a good signal or you're on Wi-Fi, Google, and sometimes Google Translate just doesn't want to work. Like there, you
Mhm.
have signal, you have everything. So I would really learn some very common phrases, hello, goodbye, like learn a couple of your directions, help as well, or, things like that. I need help, or, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, again, all these things, but I think that that's something that I do wherever I go. Even
Mhm.
if I have no idea if I'm saying it right or anything, but yeah, I always like to know some phrases wherever I go.
So I'm gonna just say two. I'm not saying I'm saying them in English, okay,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna say some good things to actually know how to say.
Yeah.
Was how to say apologies. I speak very little
Hmm.
English. Please
Oh.
don't. Yeah, humbly at and yeah, that's one. I always say, like lo siento, blah blah blah. Okay, and
Hmm.
stuff, and they're like, no problem. Like they're always like, yeah, no big deal. Like we can work this out. The
Hmm.
other thing is to ask, like whenever I go into the store, if I need help, like I went to go get some photos printed the other day, and the first thing I did was just ask humbly, not like, I wasn't being a jerk. I was like, I was asking if they spoke English, and she was
Hmm.
like, like again, work with you. Now don't be, Karen style and be like, like with attitude that will get you nowhere, and they will give
Why
you
don't you
some
speak English?
jacked up, yeah, they will give you some jacked up directions and instructions, okay? Okay, so don't do that. Yeah, so whenever I try to ingratiate myself and just be as understanding, like they have no reason to speak English at
Hmm.
all
Right. You're in their
because
country.
yeah, so it's like you don't get no attitude with them stuff because
Hmm.
they whether or not they can if they're able to. And like I said, even when I was in Mexico at the city market and I was trying to get help, they were so nice because I was nice. I mean,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that
Yeah.
sometimes they're just like I don't care, but for
Yeah.
the most part, because of how I approached it, the sales rep went out of their way to go find somebody to help me.
Hmm.
Being nice goes a long ass way.
It
Let me
really
tell you.
does. That's why I'm very nice in real life too. So, and I
Yes,
can turn it
yes.
on extra sweet sometimes, like cavity sweet. Hmm.
Yes. When the thing that also when we're talking about communication is the language exchange. I want people to know that the language exchanges that you might go to, a lot of times they're just there to practice their English.
Yes. Oh my God. People want to
Yes.
practice their English so bad. And I'm like, no, I want to practice my Spanish.
They're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no. I've literally had
Yeah.
one guy tell me, it's like, wait till we get drunk, then we'll practice this. We'll do the Spanish. We'll go back to Spanish. He literally, yeah. So just, I mean, and it's so funny. I was just telling a friend something the other day. I was like, I am a superstar when I go to those language exchanges because they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you sound like the movies, because they're speaking Spanish and they're trying to
Yeah.
practice and perfect their English. So I'm just
Hmm.
talking to them, and they're
Yeah.
just like, say it again, like like hello, what? Okay. They are in awe with they're like, "Oh, wow. Where are you from?" Like, "Texas?" It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, the
"Oh."
one I go to, they split it. Like half the time people can practice Spanish, the other half people
Yeah.
practice English. Yeah.
So and I do wanna just backtrack and also say
Mhm.
that on that Google Translate, you have to understand something. If people
Oh
got
yeah.
things to do,
Yeah.
if you're just now trying to bring up a Google Translate to say something, they can be nice and be patient, they can just walk away, and you
Right.
can't be mad at them.
Yeah.
Okay? You
Yeah.
can't.
Put your things in your phone. If you're going to the grocery store, think about,
Mhm.
like what you can, and just put it on like a notepad or something so you have it there. Because most of
Yep.
the people, like, it's almost like this too. When someone that doesn't speak very good English comes up to us and they speak in broken English, we understand them and we want to
Mhm.
help them, or we want to
Mhm.
at least try to communicate. It's the same thing, but it is so annoying. When I first got here, only tried to do it like, but then I also noticed a lot of people want to act like they don't understand when they do. So that's something else too. But yeah, just be prepared because technology is not always going, to be
Yes,
accurate.
exactly. So, Pisces asks, so the language exchanges are public centers to help people learn. So what happens is, a lot of them they're like meetups. So they'll be
Yeah.
like, hey, we're going to have a meetup here at such and such bar or whatever.
Hmm.
And, it'll be like, I've gone and there's been like, 20 people there. And you just kind of connect and stuff. And they have games. Someplace they have
Hmm.
games. I went to one in Madrid that was so much fun. We were playing Jenga and it was just so much
Oh,
fun. But yeah, so they're not public centers, but yeah, they have you go and you meet up at random restaurants or usually it's a bar or whatever stuff
yeah.
where they just serve beer and wine, which
And
I
it's
hate because I'm not a beer and wine person. But
in
anyways,
San Miguel,
um
they do it at the live. They do them just like how you were saying. And then
mhm.
they teach Spanish lessons at the library. Or if you're
Oh,
ready,
okay.
like too advanced for the Spanish, then you can just jump right to the language exchange. But yeah, so there's a lot of things. You can just look it up. But yeah, but also, like to me, I like to learn like locals. But I mean, everyone, of course, can understand. Like if you
Yes.
speak more formal Spanish, but I enjoy saying like words that, or learning how to say things in like not this super formal, British accent equivalent way.
So last one that I was going to
Hmm.
talk about, and then we're going to talk about. I do want to find out what else is going on with you, but before we do,
Hmm.
last one was some of the legal bureaucratic steps that caught you by surprise. Anything on your journey?
That if you slide, or I should say, if my facilitator slid the manager at the immigration envelope, a very small envelope that I'm sure contained mucho dinero, that you can go to the front of the line and everybody boom, 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 boom can sit down. Like that was what shocked me the most.
Oh
I done,
wow.
yeah, I done a lot of research to find out what to do. I knew I could do the stateside part at the embassy. I knew that I could have done the whole thing. However, there were just whispers of one person. There's like a couple people, but one person in particular, that's who you want to go to. She will take care of you. You'll jump to the front of the line. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it
Oh,
maybe a little
did you
over
go out?
$200. Huh?
Oh, you
What were
froze
you
up
about
for
to
a
say?
split second. You're fine.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so it was like a little over $200 at the lesser conversion rate when
Mhm.
the peso was higher. So now it would be well under $200. But to me, I'm like, that's worth it simply because I thought someone stays in the line, which they do. So she sends people there to stand in line for you. So they get the number for you because they start passing out numbers at like 5 a.m. So she said,
Oh
come
yeah, I heard
around.
about that.
Yeah. So come around, 8:45, 9. I did that and we just waited. She says it took longer because the manager that she works with was stuck at another like immigration,
Mhm.
office. And when she came in there, everyone was happy to see her. I think because she probably divvies up some of the dough that she gets from my facilitator. But when I
You
tell
bet. Yeah.
you, she said there was 5 seats. Boom, 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 boom. Sat us down. People were like, well, I think when I'm about to do this voice. Hey, wait a minute. We're number 2 and 3. Why did they
Yeah.
pick go first? And I'm like, well, favor ain't fair, okay? Look. But yeah, that's something that like I'd heard about, oh, if you run into the police, they're gonna want you to pay them. Like I have not seen that. And also they tend to ask the palm colored folks more that
Mhm.
than us. Like, but no one that I know got shut down for some money by the police. And as a matter of fact, the police are extremely helpful. And even though they have like semi-automatic rifles and they be wearing like the balaclavas and things, I feel safer because that's not somebody coming up in the La Comer or coming up in City Market dressed like that that's there to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just somebody that lost their mind and just acting a fool. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that to see that in person, I was like, well, when in Rome. But yeah, that is what surprised me. That it like
Okay.
it was easy. I could see how, that's what I do. So legalese is nothing for me. Filling out, paperwork. But I also didn't want to I don't know how things go. I could fill out the paper and they could be asking for something completely different. It's not a matter of the translation, just what does this mean here or at this particular immigration center? Because maybe the one in Querétaro means, you put other stuff different. So, there are times, like I said, when you're going to pay for the peace of mind or pay for convenience. It's not exciting, but yeah, I walked out of there with my shoot. It was like an hour and some change, and that's it. And it would have been
Wow.
shorter than that. It would have been probably like half the time if we weren't waiting on that other manager. I didn't know it at the time, but yeah, that's what we were waiting on.
Okay. Well, I'm going to
Mhm.
say the two things that caught me off guard actually happened in the U.S.
Ooh.
One is I didn't realize. So when you actually have to get your federal background check, you cannot get that apostilled by the state.
Oh.
Can't do it.
Oh.
But I did find out because I had gone to Austin. I was like, I'm just driving. I found a pet sit in
Hmm.
Austin, so I could spend a couple of days in Austin. Just go ahead and enjoy Austin and go directly to the state to go ahead and get everything apostille. And they were like, but great customer service there in that office. I
Mm.
was like the second person in there in the, that morning at like 8:15 or whatever, and they said we can't apostille this. They said, but take everything over to the UPS. There's a UPS store right around the corner
Nice.
in Austin. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they said they'll take care of you. So what happens is, even though the federal background could not be apostilled, a notarized copy could.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
Nice.
everything, I just got everything notarized, a certified notarized copy of all the documents, and I took it back over there to the state, and they were like, "Don't, done, goodbye, and have a good day."
Now
And so
imagine
I
if
didn't
they
know
hadn't
that.
told you that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? What if the
Hmm.
customer service was trash? Like it
Yeah,
unfortunately
and
is
not
many
all
times.
the UPS stores or
Yeah.
whatever and stuff knows about this because,
Mm.
again, they work so closely to
Yeah.
where the state capital is, where all this is being done. And so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What if you didn't know that? The other thing that you just want to be aware of, um, some people it's just different, but if you have to get a medical certificate, them doctors in the US be like, what you gonna pay me?
Yes. Or I can't do it. Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable,
Right. Oh,
saying
yes.
that you're in perfect health.
But you
What?
just told me I was good. Why can't you put it on the paper?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I went through hell
Mm.
because I had, my doctor that I had been going to for a while and stuff, and they were like, "Well, we need you to come back in and do another I just had a physical like a month or
No,
so ago. What are you talking
no.
about? Why do I need a physical now just to say that I'm in good health?"
Mm-mm.
They want to charge you. Um, even if you have like, I guess those doctors that, like the medical note doctors, that's bull. They don't do that. They
No.
might be able to give you a thing that says that you were sick and that's why you weren't at work, but they're not going to. I think on some of those websites it says that yes, we'll help you with your immigration papers. No, they don't. That's
Don't
not what
fall
that.
for
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. Don't fall for it. And so yes, I mean it took a while or so, but I was finally able to get the doctor's note. But just know that was like a big surprise for me. Was like why? And I went on to different groups and everything. Like, what have you guys done? Because I don't understand why it's so hard to get something that just says I'm in decent health. Basically,
Mhm.
it's like I don't have any communicable diseases. Not
Right.
saying that you're not gonna walk with a limp or you
Right.
have like other they're talking about communicable diseases,
Right.
and I'm sorry if I'm butchering that word, and the doctors are like, no, we're gonna have you do a full physical and get all the blood work, and then and that's gonna be one place had said that it was gonna be like $700. I was like, get
Whoa.
the f out of my face.
Whoa. No.
Voice over the phone, yeah. Okay.
You're doing too much.
It's so
Okay.
anyways, with that, I hope that the information and the information we shared today has been entertaining and insightful. April, do tell us what's going on in your world. What are you up to?
Okay, so let's see. I have created a program that's called Choose You. And I did it essentially based on my journal entries, what I've done with a couple of my coaching clients, some of the work that I did that has me being this Black woman that you see today. That, I have very healthy boundaries. Just how I was saying, even on the inside, I may want to say something. I have burned the cape. Okay. I didn't just take it off. Like I burned the cape. I have confidence. I am unstoppable. I'm still in the process of discovering and rediscovering some of my passions. I have dreams. And so essentially I made a program called Choose You that is directed towards the black women who are in currently in that position. Where maybe if I asked you, what do you want? What do you need? You may not be able to answer that. Or if I say, like, what are your dreams? You're so far removed from it. Or if I even asked you, who are you? You will have difficulty explaining that without bringing in your job or, oh, I'm a mom or things like that. So it really is designed for us to have that self awareness, for us to become comfortable and to be confident in having a life that is centered around our joy. And again, no guilt, no shame, no condemnation. As a matter of fact, you just don't hear it because it is about you, period. So
What did I
yes, that's
say
what I'm working
this
on.
past Friday when I was saying when you're writing in your journal and you can't even be truthful with yourself in your own journal?
Yeah.
This is this is going to allow you kind of to open yourself up
Mm-hmm.
to lose the guilt,
Yep.
yeah, just open yourself up to
Mm-hmm.
so you can speak freely and go for what you really want.
Right. And discover who you are. Like there is a us that we were born to be. I'll speak for myself. I was raised in an extremely strict, Pentecostal, then non-denominational, this like Methodist Pentecostal home. There were a lot of rules. We were at church, 10 days a week. There was a lot of pressure to make, A pluses all the time. Just so many things like others' expectations of me. And I didn't know who I was. I had to apply, like I had blind spots when it came to me because I just stayed busy and did everything I could to avoid that feeling uncomfortable of who am I right now at this age or this juncture in my life. And for a while, that's why I always mention with no guilt because I was beating myself up. Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, it just went with like, how do you not know all the way to you let these people at the job do you wrong? That guy, their ex-husband, just like certain things, just that because it's gonna start to just flood you. Like that's what self-awareness does. Like you are getting through the muck, and when you get on that other side, you are opening yourself up. You have space and you have room to be able to receive the person that you are supposed to be. It doesn't matter if you are, 25, if you're 75. Like she is in there and it's up to us to, like I said, just to filter through all of the mess and get to that place where we are completely free and liberated. Yeah.
Well,
That's
thank
what's going on with
you.
me.
Please do check out April's site. The information is actually in the chat, in the comments, and it's also in the description of this live. So definitely do make sure that you like and subscribe. And please do. I love all the comments. I feel like we didn't get to a lot of the questions. I feel like I need to do another live just to answer so many questions and
Look, I
stuff.
can come back.
Uh,
I can come back
yeah.
now. Okay. I do what I want. Okay.
But this was just absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, April, for joining me for
Of
my first
course.
midnight,
Yeah.
abroad chat. So it's 2 in the morning, and I'm wide
Whoa.
awake.
Oh
Anyways,
my.
you guys, thank you so much. Make sure, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you're interested, please do get on my mailing list. The link
Mhm.
is also in the description. And for that, I say I will see you later. Hold on, hold up, wait a second. Where's it at? Where's it at? Uh, uh, here we go. And goodbye. Okay.
Hey, hey, body roll. Step body roll.